Hello and welcome to the show. It was a quiet Saturday afternoon. 12 boys, members of a local football team, the Wild Boars, came here with their young coach to explore the cave, something that they'd done many times before. They didn't think about the rain that was starting to fall, but it would be the beginning of an ordeal that would last for weeks as the world watched to see if they would ever escape from Tham Luang cave. It's a rescue that captured the attention of the world. 12 young boys and their coach lost in a cave system deep in the mountains between Thailand and Myanmar. As the World Cup progresses, these are the footballers who grab the headlines for their resilience, their determination, and their calm in the face of insurmountable odds. It's late on the evening of Monday the 25th of July. Bicycles lie chained to the railings at the opening of Tham Luang cave in northern Thailand. Football boots and a backpack wait for their owners to return. The boys have now been missing for 48 hours. Outside, the heavy rains have turned the mouth of the cave into a mud bath. Several villagers come to pray for the safe return of their boys. Local legend says that before anyone can emerge safely from the caverns, the spirits inside must be placated with offerings. The nearby visitors center has been turned into rescue headquarters, but no one knows what's going on. One man, however, knows this is a race against time, and the clock is ticking.
Right now, we try to pump the water out of the cave, and we try to do our best. And tomorrow, or about 5 or 6 o'clock, we will send all the team inside and find the kid.
And do you know how long you have? How long before they're really in danger of either running out of oxygen?
I cannot expect that how long, but every minute is important.
The clock started ticking on the Saturday before. The Wild Boars football team have practice as usual. When the boys from the junior team set off, they'd made plans. Tham Chantawong is the aunt of the football coach ACTON, known by his nickname Egg.
เขานัดกันตั้งแต่วันอังคารแล้วเจ้าถึงละออน13 คนนี่พ่อหลานแม่นี่ไปแล้วแบบมาได้เข้าตัวนัดกันว่าเขาไปซ่อมบอลแล้วเขาจะแวะถ้ำหลวงเขาก็ว่า
It's a trip the boys have made before, not one anyone considers dangerous.
เพราะว่าเมื่อปี59นี่เปิ้นเข้าไปข้างหนึ่งเนาะไปถ่ายรูปมาแล้วเปิ้นก็ว่าจะพาน้องๆไปแวะดูกรรมแต่แม่บ่ได้ฮู้คิดว่าเขาบ่ได้ตั้งใจเข้าไปลึกอีน่ะเพราะว่ารถทีบกับโทรศัพท์เขาน่ะเขาก็เป็นของฮักเขาแล้วเนาะเขาก็เอาจอดไว้แล้วบ่ได้ล็อกบ่ได้หยังแค่จอดไว้ธรรมดาอันอิ่มได้จะ
These are not well-off kids. They come from the area around the caves. Here, livelihoods depend on farming and border trade. Myanmar is just a few kilometers away. Titan is the youngest at 11. The others range in age from 12 to 17. One, Abdul, can even speak English, a skill that'll come in very useful later on. But they all play a role in the team. They all work well together, and they all know how to help each other. Their coach, Egg, is 25. An orphan and a former monk, he's the glue that binds them together. In the days to come, some will question why he's left in charge, but it's normal.
ก็เหมือนแม่ว่านั่นน่ะคนเอกเปิ้นจะรับผิดชอบ เราอ่อนดีเวลาขนาดเป็นไข้พ่อแม่เพิ่นเอาไปแล้วถ้าน้องมาอยู่ตัวโคตรเอกมีตัวอุ่นตัวห้อนอย่างอีโกเพิ่นก็ปาไปหาหมอแทนถ้าอย่างผู้ปกครองวันนี้โคตรเอกวันนี้ปีบัตาหนาโคตรเอกต้องหับน้องฮือเพิ่นก็ไปหับฮือเอีย
But the news is now out that the boys are missing. No one knows what to do. An Englishman who lives locally and knows the cave system well is called. He ventures inside alone.
ต่อมาแถมสัก4 ชั่วโมงเนี่ยพลังเปิ้นก็ออกมาแถมนี่โหเปิ้นเหมือนนี่เทน้อยนะเปิ้นออกมาลมแรกอะพลังนั้นน่ะแล้วก็ตายไล่เนาะเป็นจะเฮ้ยเนาะกันนี้เปิ้นก็ฮู้ภาษาแม่เขาตัวกล้าเปิ้นก็ใจอู้อย่างเพิ่นก็จะไปที่กองอำนวยการเปิ้นก็ไปอู้กันแล้วก็ห้องเจ้าหน้าที่มาห้องมาก็โตมาเรื่อยๆเอียคนก็เริ่มนักมานักข่าวก็เริ่มมานัก
This is Vernon Unsworth, a retiree who settled with his wife nearby.
ใช่ที่อยู่ในถ้ำเขาบอกว่าเขาสำรวจเส้นทางถ้ำรู้เด็กไปติดมากี่ครั้งก็เขาเนี่ยเป็นคนช่วยเอียเนาะ
By the next morning, even more people had arrived, including diving teams from Thailand's elite Navy SEALs. But they've never seen conditions like this. Dark, muddy water, raging currents, and tiny, narrow passages they can barely fit through. Only Vern understands the challenge that lies ahead.
What are the conditions like?
Getting hostile, not pleasant.
In all way.
A lot of water coming through.
In a rough estimate, how survivable is it inside now?
Depends where they are.
Right. From what you know of these types of caves,
This system, if they're in the right place, they could survive for 5-6 days. But the water now, the flood water is getting higher and higher. So there'll only be a point in time where this cave here, even the entrance, will close. In the next, I would think in the next 10 days, there'll be no access to this.
That prediction will prove terribly accurate. In the days to come, the rescue teams will battle rising waters in the cave that push them back almost to the entrance. Pumps that have been carried up the hill break down, and even when they work, they make little impact on the waters inside. But Vern Unsworth has also raised the alarm with the tightly knit global cave diving community. Help is on the way. John VOLANTHEN and Rick Stanton arrived from the UK, members of the British Cave Rescue Council. They're considered the best cave divers in the world.
We're not heroes. What we do is very calculating, very calm. It's quite the opposite.
The next morning, US Special Forces survival experts arrived from Okinawa.
Flowing water?
In the rush to find the boys, everyone's keen to contribute, but no one knows exactly what to do.
And the ceiling is this tall, and the area of the room is 20 meters.
have you had a chance to get into the caves yet?
So I know our team has. They're working with the Thai authorities to kind of figure out that initial assessment. Right now it's in the kind of the course of action development when it comes to planning. They're not ruling out any options when it comes to rescue operations, but nothing has been decided as well.
Inside the caves, a team of Chinese divers is also hard at work. They brought vital equipment and much needed expertise. And the pumps have finally started to work, bringing water levels down enough to allow rescue teams back inside. But these are just the early stages of a vast underground network, and there's still no sign of the boys. The parents are suffering too. They've maintained a vigil outside the caves, desperate for any news. Coach Egg's aunt is there, trying to stay upbeat. She tells us how well he and the team get on together. But behind the scenes, the strains are really starting to show.
ตอนวัน2 วันนั้นผู้ปกครองคนวันที่3มานำไวแล้วเนาะ เขาเนยเขาล่าแล้วเวลาแม่จะปิดเขาก็ถ้าย่าเขาจะห้องย่าตัวลูกไข่น้อยย่าต้องอยู่ย่าต้องช่วยน้องเขาแม่ก็อยู่ตัวเขาหันตึงวันอ่ะเขาจะก็ว่าน้องเขานี่ตึงจะได้ก็ตึงมาได้ตรวจกับไปตังโคตรเลยอีนั่นถึงจะเป็นอย่างลูกจะเป็นหรือว่าลูกจะตายก็ตึงมาได้โทษละเพราะว่าละออนเขาก็งูเขาพร้อมใจกันมาแล้ว
That strain is showing on the rescue teams too.
คือพื้นที่เป้าหมายถ้าน้องๆว่าเป็นที่เขาเรียกว่าเป็นโถง3เป็นพัทยาบีชเนี่ยตอนนี้ยังไปไม่ถึงครับก็การดำเข้าไปเนี่ยขอเรียนทราบว่า1 ถังเนี่ยไปประมาณ200 เมตรครับแล้วระยะทางทั้งหมดก็ประมาณก็หลายร้อยเมตรอยู่แต่ทำอย่างเต็มที่ครับเราใช้การหมุนเวียนนะทำตลอดไม่ได้หยุดพัก
Nobody wants to give up, and thousands of volunteers have flooded the cave entrance to offer their help. But it's 9 days now, and these are teenage boys. Even if they've survived the initial flood, can they still be alive after all this time? John VOLANTHEN and Rick Stanton continue to press on. Some days they only move forward a few hundred meters, laying guide roads for others to follow, and they're methodical, charting their way, surfacing in air pockets to shout and smell. Then late in the evening on Monday the 2nd of July.
How many of you? 13. Brilliant.
13, all present. Tell him we're hungry, the others tell Adol, the only English speaker. And it's as if a collective sigh is released. Not just in the cave, not just in Thailand, but all around the world where the story of the lost boys has captivated and enthralled millions. Little do they know that this is just the easy part. The real danger lies ahead.
When I was flat out asked, what do you think the probability of success was? I told the governor I thought maybe a 60 or 70% chance. Maybe 3, 4, possibly 5 would die.
"12 boys and their coach are missing in Tham Luang cave in northern Thailand. Rescue workers and divers search to find them with no sign of life for 10 days. And then, as hope starts to fade, they're found.
We are coming. It's okay. It's okay. Many people are coming.
All alive, but deep underground with no escape route. The mood above ground was jubilant. Rescue teams who are flagging with fatigue appear revived. And of course, for the parents and relatives waiting,
ก็มีกับครอบครัวแม่ก็รอดกันนะกะหลานก็ตื่นห้องกันตื่นมากะญาติบ้านใกล้เรือนเคียงก็วิ่งมาเจอแล้วดีใจกันมีกับคนเฮกันนะแกน
But the authorities now face a huge problem.
มันไม่ใครบอกแต่ว่าจะออกมายากอย่างนี้นะเพราะว่าเจอแล้วอีกก็หู้ว่าเจอแล้วยังได้หู้ข่าวว่าเนาะพอจะเอาออกมาจะได้ก็หู้เตอ
Only experienced divers can reach them. It's the rainy season. More heavy downpours are on the way. What do the rescue teams do next? One of the early assessments is they might have to live in the cave for the next 4 months until the rains stop and water levels drop. But is that realistic? A few kilometers along the mountains is another cave complex. Well above ground, so flooding isn't a problem, but it's very similar to the ones the boys are trapped in.
We've only been in this cave for about 15 minutes, and it's already starting to feel quite eerie. There's no sound at all, but you can feel everything around you. You feel in a very enclosed space, even though this is a fairly large cavern. And one can only imagine what it's like for these boys who have been completely cut off from sound, from light, from any notion of what's day or night. It must be completely bewildering to be in there for so long with no sense of time.
The water that drips down the stalactites has saved their lives. On the advice of Coach Egg, this is what they drink, not the water from the cave floor, dirtied with bat droppings. But can they stay alive in such an isolated environment for so long? And more importantly, can the divers continue to supply them? The answer is tragically no. The cave network lies deep inside the Khun Nam Nang Non Mountains, the lagoon of the Sleeping Lady. After heading north for several kilometers, the trail splits to the east and west. The longest pathway goes west for about 9 kilometers. Tight gullies lead into large chambers, but the path's not flat. At various points, it includes steep climbs and long dips. As the seasonal rains flood the caves, these passageways fill with water, trapping the boys and forcing them deeper into the mountains to higher ground. It's deep in these waterlogged passageways on the night of the 5th of July that former Navy SEAL Saman Kunan is tasked with delivering oxygen tanks. At approximately 2 a.m. on the 6th, his body is found and attempts at revival fail.
You could feel it within the team, you could feel the energy. But they were all really professional people and they're there to do a job, and they got on and done the job. And it was discussed, and Saman, obviously they'd all trained together, they were all good friends. And it was quite solemn. It was, I feel like I know him, but I got to know all about him, all these stories, and he was talked about a lot. He was very, very well respected. He was obviously an amazing man and a very good SEAL.
Tim Acton is a professional diver who's been drafted into the ex-Navy SEALs team by a friend, only one of 2 foreigners in the elite group. Saman's sacrifice clarifies one very simple fact.
I don't know, when he died, it kind of hit home that the boys needed to come out quickly.
But if the divers know it, the authorities above ground are reluctant. The death of Petty Officer Saman popped the bubble of optimism that the boys' safe return is a foregone conclusion, but the risks are huge.
I talk to them every day if they would like me to bring their kids out. I said that it had to be minimum risks, but if it's not enough risks for us, we try to wait, but we cannot wait until the rain.
Tim has dived professionally all over the world. This is one of the hardest dives he's ever seen.
It was the worst conditions you can imagine. There's really strong currents, zero visibility. You can't. Everything is feel. You're pulling yourself along a rope. So the lads that actually put the ropes out, that didn't have anything to go by, were just on feel. They're just unbelievable.
Inside the caves, preparations are being made. This crew of Chinese mountaineers joined others from around the region, securing guide ropes and a pulley system through some of the most treacherous stretches. It'll prove indispensable later, but there's a bigger problem. The 12 boys and their coach are in surprisingly good condition. Several Navy SEALs are now with them 24 hours a day, including a doctor. But none of them can dive. Several of them can't even swim. To escape, they'll have to dive for 3 hours in conditions that the best cave divers in the world are finding a huge challenge, and that just killed a Navy SEAL. But there's one point where the underwater corridor becomes so narrow, the divers have to remove their oxygen tanks.
To go into an environment that you don't know, and you're taking equipment off and you're pushing your equipment through first, and this is in a zero visibility environment, that's really scary. That's not a nice environment to be in.
One of the divers carries handwritten notes out from the team to their parents and relatives. Some ask for their favorite food, others promise to do better with their household chores. All of them tell their parents not to worry, that they'll be home safe. But it's a promise the boys may not be able to keep. Oxygen levels are now dropping fast. From 21% oxygen that's found in normal air, the levels have dropped in the cave to 15%. Carbon dioxide levels are rising too, because of the hundreds of people now working in the caves. High above, the climbers are scouring the jungle for a chimney or alternate access point to the cave system. They find several promising access points, but none lead to the right cavern. The options are pointing to only one exit, the way they came in. The eyes of the world are now staring as the drama unfolds. More than 1,000 members of the media are registered with the rescue authorities. Then suddenly, on the morning of the 7th of July, the cameras are unceremoniously ejected from their ringside seat. The rescue is underway.
วันนี้ความพร้อมถึงพีคสุดละวันนี้เราปฏิบัติการดีเดย์นะครับเมื่อ 10 โมงที่ผ่านมาเจ้าหน้าที่ดำน้ำผู้เชี่ยวชาญดำน้ำถ้ำจำนวน 13 คนนะครับได้เข้าไปปฏิบัติการเพื่อช่วยชีวิตน้องๆเขาออกมานะครับแล้วก็ซีลไทยอีก 5 คนนะครับปฏิบัติโดยมีการ assignment ชัดเจนว่าเราจะเข้าไปอย่างไรแล้วก็จะกู้ชีพกู้ภัยน้องเขาออกมาอย่างไร
The conditions are just right. Pumps and water diversion schemes have brought the water level down. The weather forecast is good. And the divers, led by Rick Stanton, John VOLANTHEN, and Australian doctor Richard Harry Harris, have devised a plan. The boys will be partially sedated, most likely with ketamine. Medical experts at Oxford University say that would have made them virtually unconscious, but their vital signs would not be affected. Then they're wrapped in a collapsible stretcher. Full face masks make breathing easier and reduce the chance of panic. Once inside the flooded tunnels, they're relayed by divers from group to group. Elaborate pulley systems are devised to help pass them through the tightest sections of tunnel, with several medical checks on the way to top up the sedative. And finally they emerge into the relative safety of Cave 3, where their exit progresses on land. But will it work?
I could see that there's a huge amount of issues that could happen. Looking back at it now, that would have been the only way to have done it. Really, that was the best thing that could have happened, and all the teams involved done an amazing job. Thinking about the problems that could have happened is quite scary.
Everyone is watching and waiting.
There are suggestions that one of the boys may already have been released from the cave. We can't confirm it at this stage, but in conjunction with those things that we've seen, the activity around the site in the last 30 minutes or so, that may be the case. Now, we don't know...
The authorities said they'd start to emerge at 9 p.m. This is 3 hours early. Does it work that well? It has. And over the next 2 hours, 4 children emerge. They're transported to Chiang Rai General Hospital by ambulance and helicopter. No one knows what condition they're in, but they're alive. Over the next 2 days, the rescue operation gains pace.
It's still a very tense environment, and obviously the more kids that come out, and then on day two I was inside, and day 3, and as more of the kids come out, the atmosphere got better and better, and the atmosphere at the end in chamber 2, when the last kid and the coach came out, and then the divers started coming out slowly, that was just an amazing atmosphere, really.
Outside the caves, the ambulance is set off. The helicopters spin overhead, and in groups of 4, the Wild Boars football team emerge. But the dive team has one big concern.
Titan, the youngest boy at 11.
There was worry that the young kid, the 11-year-old, the smallest one, he had a very small face. Yeah. There was worry that the full face mask wouldn't seal. So the 2 days beforehand, the divers did have a big worry. I think he was either the last one out or the second from last boy out before the coach came out. When he came out, face mask, and he was actually on an oxygen mask, and as he's going through the line, and that was one thing that hit me as well, because he's only 11 and my daughter's only 10, and I saw his cheeks go past, it just reminded me of my daughter, and that brought a tear to my eye.
As the final boy, then Coach Egg are ferried to safety, huge relief and joy. Ambulances carrying the team are cheered through the streets of Chiang Rai. This is a victory far greater than any football match. But even then, however, there's a twist in the tale. After the boys had come out, the divers that stayed with them returned too. As the last one emerged, the pumps broke. Water levels rise dramatically, and the last divers have to run to escape being trapped inside.
Kun Chairat, who was part of our team, was the very last member to come out, and he told us about it when he got back to the resort, and I think it was 50 centimetres, over 20 minutes it raised. And it was good that it happened then and not 6, 7, 8 hours earlier.
In the days that follow, there's much talk about heroes. The British divers who found the boys and planned their rescue. The Thai rescue chief who coordinated an impossible mission. The Australian doctor who stayed with the boys while his own father passed away. And Coach Egg, who meditated with the boys to stave off hunger and kept their morale high. All could lay claim to the title, and many more, but most stayed silent, other than to express satisfaction in a job well done.
ตอนนี้ดีใจสุดๆว่าจะมีอย่างมาตอบแทนทุกๆหน่วยทุกๆสื่อเนาะแม่ก็พ่ออย่างพ่อมถูกก็ดีใจกับขอบคุณนะจ๊ะ
One man, however, had slipped quietly away. Vernon Unsworth had been there from the start. He'd raised the alarm, he'd started the search, he'd known exactly who to call. Without him, it's almost certain the boys at the Wild Boars Football Club would never play another match. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. If you've got any comments about this week's show, please get in touch with us on social media. Thanks for watching, and join us again. My name's Tony Chiang, and this is Assignment Asia.